Diana Rigg once set the screen ablaze with her daring beauty and calculated rebellion, but in her final years, she confessed a chilling truth: fame could never fill the emptiness inside her soul. These never-before-seen private photos reveal a side of her life she once tried to hide. Why did she walk away from the Avengers at the height of her success, and what drove her to grapple with the idea of a gentle death from her hospital bed? Only by watching until the end will you uncover the darkest corners of a legend who once shook all of Britain. Diana Rigg was born on July 20th, 1938 inches Doncaster, South Yorkshire, into a middle-class family. Her father was an engineer working in the railway industry, and her mother was a homemaker. She had an older brother who was 4 years her senior. Because of her father's job, the family often had to move around. While her mother was pregnant, she returned to England so Diana could be born in her home country. However, just 2 months after her birth, the family relocated to Bikaner, Rajasthan, India, where her father managed operations for the Bikaner State Railway. From the age of 2 months to 8 years, Diana Rigg grew up in a land rich in color and culture, where she learned to speak Hindi as her second language. When Rigg turned 8, she was sent back to England to attend Fulneck School, a girls' boarding school in the Moravian settlement near Pudsey, Yorkshire. There she felt out of place in the strict and disciplined environment. She disliked the dull and regimented life of boarding school, but later admitted that her years in Yorkshire shaped her personality far more than her early childhood in India ever did. After graduating from the girls' school, Diana Rigg decided to pursue her passion for the arts and enrolled at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, RADA, from 1955 to 1957. However, life at RADA was anything but easy. Rebellious and a bit defiant by nature, Rigg often partied, dated various men, and occasionally showed up to class drunk. At one point, she nearly got expelled for breaking the Academy's strict rules. Yet, her natural talent and undeniable charm convinced the faculty to let her stay. A decision that proved wise as Rigg went on to become one of RADA's most celebrated alumni. During her time at RADA, Diana Rigg formed friendships with fellow students who would also go on to become famous, such as Glenda Jackson and Cyan Phillips. The three shared a deep passion for the performing arts, even though each would later carve out her own distinctive career path and artistic legacy. Diana Rigg began her artistic career on stage playing Natasha Abashwili in the Caucasian Chalk Circle at the York Festival in 1957. This performance became a crucial stepping stone, leading her to join the Royal Shakespeare Company, where she remained from 1959 to 1967. During her tenure, Rigg took on numerous classic roles, including Gwendolen in Jean Anouilh's Becket, Cordelia in King Lear, and Adriana in The Comedy of Errors. The pinnacle of her stage career came with her appearances on Broadway, starting in 1971 with Abelard and Heloise. In that production, she shocked audiences worldwide with a daring nude scene alongside her co-star Keith Mitchell. The role not only catapulted her to international fame, but also earned her a Tony Award nomination for Best Actress in a Leading Role. Rigg continued to prove her extraordinary talent with acclaimed performances such as in The Misanthrope 1975, which brought her a second Tony nomination. For Diana Rigg, the stage was not merely a platform for performance, it was the very essence of her artistic soul. She once reflected, "Theater is ephemeral, but in its own way, it is immortal." Nothing compares to the feeling of standing before a live audience, where every line and every emotion becomes a bridge between the actor and the viewer. Indeed, she remained devoted to the theater until as late as 2018, when she returned to Broadway as Mrs. Higgins in My Fair Lady. That performance earned her a 4th Tony nomination, marking a graceful and triumphant close to her remarkable stage journey. While theater came naturally to Rigg, her television and film career proved far more challenging. She faced both the glamour and the dark side of fame. Being typecast as a sex symbol and confronting the injustices of an industry where she was sometimes exploited by directors. Her breakthrough television role came as Emma Peel in the Avengers 1965 to 1968. One of the most iconic characters in British TV history, Emma Peel was not only intelligent and alluring, but also a trailblazing symbol of female empowerment on the small screen. However, the spotlight that came with her role also brought immense pressure. Rigg found herself overwhelmed by the burden of being labeled a sex symbol. She received countless letters from fans, many of them containing inappropriate or vulgar remarks. Instead of throwing them away, she stuffed the letters into the trunk of her car and let her mother deal with them. Her mother, with her trademark wit, would often reply to the most indecent ones with, "My daughter's far too old for you. Go take a cold bath." One of the main reasons Diana eventually left the Avengers was the unfair pay disparity. She discovered that she was earning less than the cameraman, a revelation that left her deeply frustrated. After a long battle, her weekly salary was raised from £150 to £450, but the media quickly painted her as greedy. Rigg later reflected, "All I wanted was fairness. It is sad that we are still talking about the gender pay gap today." The working environment on set was far from ideal as well. According to Rigg, the only people she truly befriended were her co-star Patrick Macnee and her personal driver. This sense of isolation motivated her to seek new opportunities and expand her horizons. After leaving the Avengers, Diana Rigg shifted her focus to film, aiming to build her reputation in the United States. In 1969, she portrayed Tracy Bond in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, becoming the only woman ever to marry James Bond in the legendary franchise. The role marked a major turning point in her career as she finally received both a generous salary and the professional respect she had long been denied. Rigg often spoke fondly of her experience on the film. Everything was perfectly organized, from the script and the locations to the professionalism of the crew. It was a completely different feeling. The role of Tracy Bond not only established her name on the international stage, but also cemented her image as a versatile actress capable of transforming seamlessly between stage and screen. Throughout her long and illustrious career, Diana Rigg built a repertoire of unforgettable roles that continue to be remembered with deep admiration. Among her notable film appearances were The Assassination Bureau, Julius Caesar, Theater of Blood, and In This House of Breed, each leaving a distinctive mark on audiences. She also brought her signature charm and wit to The Great Muppet Caper, a delightful comedy featuring the beloved Muppet characters, where her performance once again showcased her remarkable versatility. A major turning point in her career came in 1987 when she portrayed the evil queen, the wicked stepmother of Snow White in Snow White, part of the canon movie Tales series. This role was a departure from her previous work, yet it perfectly displayed her ability to embody complex, commanding women with depth and conviction. For modern audiences, however, Diana Rigg is perhaps best remembered for her role in Game of Thrones. Beginning in the show's third season in 2013, she portrayed Lady Olenna Tyrell, a sharp-witted, cunning, and powerful matriarch. Rigg brought the character to life with extraordinary skill, instantly winning the hearts of viewers. Her portrayal of Lady Olenna created some of the series' most iconic moments, earning her an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Guest Actress in a Drama Series. She continued in the role through seasons 4, 5, and 6 before Lady Olenna's unforgettable and dignified exit in season 7. Her final film appearance came in Last Night in Soho 2019, released around the time of her passing. The film now stands as a poignant tribute to her legacy, a final performance that encapsulated the grace, strength, and magnetism that defined her career. Beyond her acting career, Diana Rigg's love life was a fascinating story in itself, filled with complexity, passion, and no shortage of controversy. Her romantic relationships often made headlines, yet she remained unapologetic and proud of every choice she made. Her first and most talked about romance began in the early 1960 seconds with director Philip Saville. The relationship drew attention not only because of their age difference — Philip was 8 years older — but also because he was still married to actress and filmmaker Jane Arden. Despite public disapproval, Diana and Philip lived together for 8 years, even though he never formally divorced his wife. Her next relationship was with George Lazenby, her co-star in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, where Diana famously played the only Mrs. Bond in the entire James Bond franchise. Though their on-screen chemistry was intense and romantic, their real-life relationship failed to withstand the challenges of reality. According to George, the two had agreed to stay faithful during the filming period, but that pact was broken when Diana caught him being intimate with another woman. Diana reportedly expressed her displeasure by deliberately eating garlic before filming their kissing scenes. Diana's relationship with artist Menachem Geffen appeared to be more stable. They married in 1973, though Diana herself predicted the marriage would not last. True to her words, the couple separated after just 1 year. After her divorce, Diana entered a new relationship with theater producer Archibald Sterling. The relationship gave her renewed hope, and the two eventually married in 1982, several years after welcoming their daughter, Rachel, in 1977. However, fate once again dealt her a cruel hand when Archibald betrayed her by having an affair with a younger actress, Jolie Richardson. The marriage ended in heartbreak, but despite the pain, Diana and Archibald managed to remain on friendly terms, co-parenting Rachel together. Remarkably, Diana even became close friends with Archibald's new wife, Sharon. Still, deep down, Diana never truly forgot the betrayal, and she found her own subtle way to take revenge. Once, while Archibald was away on a business trip, she gathered all of his favorite suits and donated them to charity. After enduring so much pain, Diana gave up on the idea of romantic love entirely. For the next 30 years, she lived alone, choosing solitude over emotional turmoil. Reflecting on her life, she once said, "If you have a rich inner life, you do not feel lonely. I have a vivid imagination, and I do not miss romantic love. I am grateful not to go through that anymore." Yet, in truth, Diana was never someone who knew when to stop. This restlessness revealed itself in small habits that eventually became dangerous obsessions, affecting not only her personal life, but also her career. She could never simply pause or rest as long as there was work to be done. Only when the industry no longer had a place for her did she finally slow down. Even then, Diana Rigg continued working, defying age and illness until her body could no longer keep up with her unyielding spirit. At the age of 81, despite her illness and failing lungs, Diana did not give up her work. Her career, although coming to an end, continued to be maintained until she was on her deathbed. In March 2020, she was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer, and doctors predicted that she had only 6 months to live. In her final months, Diana struggled to find relief from the pain. She asked her daughter Rachel to help her die peacefully and made a series of recordings calling for changes to the laws on assisted dying. Finally, on September 10, 2020, Diana Rigg passed away at her daughter's home in London at the age of 82. Her life ended peacefully, and when she passed away, Diana left behind an estimated net worth of $10 million. Her struggles in life, from love to career and health, will forever be an integral part of the story of a strong and resilient woman.